know when you're on the Bo and Rocco show what the first 10 pictures or pictographs mean. So this is the beginning of the second segment. This is the Omega sign that is surrounding George Washington. This is riddled with information. We have shown you the Egyptian staff, these staffs that appear above George Washington's face, so to speak, on either the left side or the right side, are the two staffs with 4 dashes. You can take a bill out of your pocket and see these two staffs that represent iconology or pictograph or pictography on the reverse of the $1 bill. And this is represented, these two staffs, as what I am about to show you right now on the actual replication of Tutankhamun that Harold Carter dug up in the year 1929. When you look at Tutankhamun's face, you will see this staff that looks like a candy cane that is appearing at the upper left and right eye of George Washington. You will also notice at the top is the vulture's headdress, which is a snake. And this vulture's headdress sets on his forehead. Below his forehead is a forked beard. This forked beard or forebeard, depending on how you pronounce it, sets upon the reverse of the $1 bill. On the ends of the $1 bill, in this configuration, the forked beard is what you see below the chin of this apparition or pictograph of an Egyptian god, and that curlicue coming down is the forks or forebeard. Above the forehead of what appears to be the forehead of this Egyptian god is the pictograph that represents the snake or the vulture's headdress. So now you have the vulture's headdress, the pictograph of the Egyptian god, and the forked beard represented on the end of the $1 bill. Assured you should be that there are at least 3 dozen other pictographs, what I just showed you, in this small segment. Because when you turn the bill this way, you will see another Egyptian god, which is the face of the 6-winged seraphim. Here is the bullock. My other videos depict this. You'll have to research a little bit on your own by looking up the videos that I have called Revelation 4 verses 6 and 7. In Revelations 4 verses 6 and 7, if you put that into the search engines on YouTube, you will see all that I just stated on those videos is completely explained. So again, this is the staff, or 1/2 of the staff that you saw on the Egyptian headdress that Howard Carter found in the year 1929 and dug up from a dig in Giza. Above George Washington's head is what is called a mantle. Above George Washington's head is what is called a mantle. This mantle is represented as the same meaning as the mantle that sets above the Great Pyramid. This little segment here, immediately above this pictograph, this little white segment, is 44 feet in real life by 44 feet deep in real life. The top of the Great Pyramid is 44 feet by 44 feet. Now the reason I say that is because the pictograph I just showed you of George Washington, these staffs each have the dashes representing the number 4 on this side and 4 on that side. there is a direct relationship to the 4 dashes and the number 44 that appears as the top of the base of the Great Pyramid. The significance goes into pictography much deeper than we can discuss here and now, but this is the type of information that you will see in the volume of my book, aka Angels on the Ark, that can be viewed by clicking the link underneath any of the videos. This is a different segment of George Washington without the candy canes, showing the mantle at the top above George Washington's head. It is called a mantle. It is also called an altar. This altar, represented by the number 44 with the candy canes, is a similar representation of the mantle or the altar that appears on the top of the Great Pyramid. Again, this is for purposes of the Bo and Rocco show. The last picture is something that I like to play with when I'm not doing anything, in that this is a representation of a nautilus. And you need to understand that this is the top of the nautilus's shell. There'll be a link in the description box to see what a nautilus looks like. When you're looking at the description in the box, what you're going to see is a real nautilus from the encyclopedia, which I cannot show you because of copyright purposes. And when you see this nautilus in the encyclopedia, you're going to see that these 13 beads on the left or right of center, when the bill is folded in this configuration, represents, in fact, a nautilus. Not only because those 13 beads appear in the encyclopedia, or very close to that number of beads, depending on the age of the nautilus itself, but because, ladies and gentlemen, this pictograph was placed there to represent a nautilus. This is the nautilus, the top of the nautilus's shell. This is the left eye of the nautilus. This is the right eye of the nautilus. In the encyclopedia, you're going to see these type of protrusions that come from a nautilus's frontal or facial view. These are called foot, F-O-O-T, not feet. Each one is a foot, represented and described in the Encyclopedia Britannica. The nautilus shell is also oval. When you fold the bill in this configuration and curve it slightly, you see an oval shape. This is the left eye, this is the right eye, and you need to figure that this is folded so that the eyes are on either side, and that's the folding of the nautilus. If you took a bill and folded it like that, you would see what appears to be a nautilus in your hands that perfectly lines up with a nautilus's shell in the Encyclopedia Britannica. And ladies and gentlemen, this is the end of the segment number 2 for the Bo and Rocco show at freedomslips.com. My name is Michael Fazio, and I am the author of a book called Angels on the Ark by Michael Fazio, which is a non-fiction book that describes several thousand pictographs, or your ability to see several thousand pictographs, by a folding methodology that which I coined the terminology Fazigami. However, what you see before you on your screen is a perfect representation of something called non-Euclidean optics. And it is so because in order to see the nautilus and several dozen other pictographs that are described in the volume of my book, in order to see this nautilus, you have to fold it or roll the bill like this. When you roll the bill like this, when you fold it and roll it, the optics that appear because of the way the lines on the $1 bill are made. They have been formed by an entity and or a computer program that which still doesn't exist in today's world. And what I just said to you is that even in today's world, you could make 1 or 2 pictographs like this by using the $1 bill. But you can't make 3,300 of them. And ladies and gentlemen, in my book, I show you that there are at least 3,300 of these pictographs. And I also show you, unequivocally speaking, I show you how to do this in my book, Angels on the Ark by Michael Fazio. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for watching my dissertation, and God day to you all.